Wheels and tyres are a hot topic within the Land Rover community, and in this video I want to get your guys' thoughts on what I should be doing for a tyre and wheel setup for Project Blue. You can already see I've got a new set fitted to Blue, and we'll discuss that at the end of the video, but for now I'd like to jump into some options that I'm considering to upgrade this wheel and tyre package. So I've jumped in Blue to film this video because it's so windy outside. I don't know whether you guys would hear me, and it's threatening to rain, so it looks like the British summer has ended as soon as it started, but I thought I could still discuss the tyre and wheel options that I'm considering for this project build. Now, the first option I think a few of you have mentioned on previous videos, and that is to consider fitting up some steel banded Wolf wheels. Now, these obviously have a more classic look to them, and I really like the deep offset that you can achieve and the deep dished wheel, and obviously fit with that more heritage look of going for a more classic steel wheel. I really like that idea. The considerations would be then, what colour do I paint those wheels? Do I go for the white colour or slightly off-white to kind of contrast against the body of the car? Or equally, do I go for a body colour? I've seen a few builds have actually body coloured matched steel wheels, which look really smart, but I don't know whether that works so well on a metallic coloured build. Would I go for kind of metallic coloured steel wheels? The Cairns Blue's obviously got that metal fleck in it, so I'm not really sure whether I would do that or not, but I do really like the idea of going for a classic wheel. The other thing I was thinking is, what do you match that classic wheel with? Do you go for something like a standard all-terrain tyre, so it's not got as much of that kind of aggressive tread, and the wheels perhaps aren't spaced out, so it feels more of that heritage build? Or do you go for kind of the other end of the spectrum and you fit kind of more aggressive all-terrain or mud tyres to them, which again give it more of a stance, perhaps put spacers on it to really fill the arches and give it more of that aggressive look? The second option, which again a few of you have mentioned in the comments on previous videos, is perhaps fitting some Rost style wheels. I really like the look of these. They're fitted to I don't know whether they're fitted to older Land Rovers, but definitely to older Range Rovers. They've got that kind of really unique look. There's a few people on Instagram that I follow that have fitted them, and it looks really smart. Again, the decision would be there, do I go for a coloured wheel? I think in the Rost style case, maybe it's just kind of that white wheel to contrast the body of the car. Again, I can't really decide. I'm not sure whether the white feels too kind of intense and too much of a contrast. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Over 60% of you guys that watch these videos aren't subscribed, so if you're enjoying the modifications and following along with the builds of Project Blue or Scout, my Project 110 build, be sure to subscribe and also click that bell icon. That alerts you when I drop a new video. I'm trying to keep up with these weekly videos. I'm really enjoying making them, so if you're enjoying watching them, be sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Now, the third option would be to fit a more heritage style wheel, but that's got a bit more of a modern twist, and there's two wheels that kind of come to mind with that. Both of them are made by Twisted, and I'm not actually sure whether you can get hold of them now, so I'll have to kind of see and do a bit of research as to whether I could get hold of a set. The first is their take on a Rost style wheel. I really like this look, and it was something that I was really considering to fit to Scout my Project 110. Again, I'd have to think about what colour I painted that wheel. I think it's really spec dependent, but I think it looks really smart. I like that it's kind of got that heritage look to it, but it's got a bit more of a modern twist, which is what I've tried to do on the rest of the build, so it might work really nicely. The second wheel from Twisted is also their deep dish sport wheel. Now again, I think it feels a bit more like an evolved boost wheel. It's got that deep dish, it's got that big offset, so it'll really fill the arches, especially if you marry it with a more aggressive tyre. I think it'll just look really smart, especially if I painted it in like an anthracite or a gunmetal grey to match some of the other gunmetal features on this build. I think that would look really cool, and perhaps is one of the options that I'm leaning towards the most out of all of the options that I'm considering from a wheel and tyre perspective. The challenge there will be getting hold of a set. I'm not sure whether you can actually buy them off the Twisted store anymore. It doesn't look like you can, so we'll have to think about some potential other options. I know there are cheaper versions out there which kind of have the same look and feel, but I do still think that the Twisted wheel does look the best out of all of those options. Now, the final option is to keep the silver boost alloys that I've had fitted to this car ever since I bought it. I've really liked the contrast of the body colour against the silver wheels, and also the tyre that it's wrapped in, the Cooper STT Pro, is such an aggressive tyre, and it really brings out the stance of the car, that I think that combination, the boost alloy with that particular tyre on this build, has really matched it well. The Boost alloys that I've got are looking a bit tired. They probably need a bit of refurbishment, but that's obviously also an option. Either that, or I also look to get them painted too, either in a white or a darker silver gunmetal colour to align more with some of the other gunmetal features. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be sad if I ended up putting them back on and driving it with those for a while. Now the elephant in the room is why Project Blue is on black sawtooths, and the reason being is I just did a swap. Originally, Scout had these black sawtooths with these cross-continental all-terrain tyres, and I wanted the tyres that were on Blue to go on Scout because I'm going laning in a few weeks. The original setup on Project Blue was silver Boost wheels wrapped in a Cooper STT mud terrain tyre, and that means obviously it's much more capable off-road. So I thought I'd put that tyre onto Scout my 110, and I didn't have time to change any of the wheels and the tyres over, so I just swapped the full set from Scout back onto Blue. So that's why it's got the black sawtooths on it. I actually don't mind the look. I thought I was going to hate it originally, but I actually think it looks quite cool. I'm still not keen on the tyre setup. I'd like something with a slightly more aggressive tread, but the black wheels actually work. I think if I was going to continue to have black wheels, I'd probably go for a deeper dished wheel, similar to what I was planning to do on Scout. So maybe there's something that I'll do in the future. But for now, I think I'm probably going to put the black wheels back on Scout once I've come back from laning, because I really liked the silver wheels as they matched some of the other accents on the car. So whilst I'm here, I thought I'd show you what Scout looks like with the silver Boost wheels on it that I've taken off Project Blue. For those of you that haven't seen this car before, it's not been on the YouTube channel for a little while, but this is Scout, my Project 110 camping build. That's a rooftop tent up above. The back has been slowly converted into kind of what I would use for a camping car. Perhaps I can do another walk around soon, and there's some really exciting upgrades to come to this. But how good do these silver Boosts look with these Cooper STTs on it? I've always wanted a more aggressive tread on this car. I've got these spaced out 30mm, so you can see the fitment looks so good, and especially with that more aggressive tyre tread. I'm really happy with actually how that looks. So whilst it's an exercise just to ensure that I've got a good tyre for when I go green laning, I'm really happy with how that looks. So it might be a future addition to either think about some different coloured wheels for Scout, or at least consider upgrading the tyre, which I've been wanting to do for a while. So that's just a little look at how it looks. Scout will be coming to the channel a bit more in the next few videos. So there you have it, guys. Those are the wheel and tyre options that I'm considering for Project Blue. If you've got any other ideas that I've not mentioned in this video, please leave a comment below, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of the options that I've presented. I'm still so torn between all of the options, and also I'm still torn on the options that I'm going to do for Scout, which is why I've not actually ended up changing the wheels and tyres on that just yet. But please let me know if you've got any thoughts, any comments, and be sure to subscribe to continue to follow the journey and to see what I'm going to fit to Project Blue. In the next few videos, I've got some really exciting modifications to happen to Scout, the Project 110, so be sure to follow along for those too, and I'll see you in the next video.